welcome back to the Bavsound video installation guide. So we're super proud to announce that after 3 years of research, development, trial, error, good times and bad, we are launching our new Ghost underseat subwoofer system for all BMWs, irrespective of the OE audio system. So we're here at our new office in San Diego, getting ready to launch this product. It's late October. We're getting some videos done, and what I wanted to do today was go over the basic installation procedure for every BMW. And while we're in an F33 convertible, so it's a 14 4 Series, the process is the same for every BMW. So we're effectively removing 4 bolts, folding a seat back, removing some screws, pulling a woofer out, doing the swapperoos, putting it back. It's about 15 minutes per side, super straightforward. And so the advantages of doing this, of performing this upgrade, is that we can take what's missing in that OE system, which is no upper mid-bass response, because there's a gap between the 100mm drivers and the doors, and then an 8-inch woofer here. And then we're effectively taking that bottom end and we're freeing up 70 to 45 hertz, which is non-existent effectively right now with these new woofers. And so it's completely plug and play, no voiding of the factory warranty. So it's perfect if you're leasing your car, which most of us are. And it's completely direct fit, plug and play. So very straightforward. If you want to have a dealer do it, if you don't want to mess with it, if you're too busy, which most of us are, we have 200 and something odd dealers globally that can handle the process for you as well. So all that information is below on Bavsound.com. We've got our dealer site, everything about the Ghost woofers. You can learn even more, buy directly from the site. So that being said, let's kind of get into the process, which effectively entails a few tools. Number one, we're going to need a Torx T50 driver on a 3/8 inch ratchet. I have it on this big extension only because I do this all the time, and I've been doing this for 3 years trying to get these things just right, so I've got the best of the best, which is a snap-on set. But effectively, this is what you need: 3/8 socket, T50, some sort of extension just to make your life a little easier, and the ubiquitous Bavsound toolkit, which is going to contain, again, all the Torx bits necessary to get out the factory woofer, the 10mm nut to get the enclosure out of the car, panel tool to peel the carpet back, everything you need in the toolkit right here. So without further ado, let us get the process started. Again, like I said, super straightforward. So we're going to pause here, kind of change some lights, get the cameras refocused on this driver's seat, and we're going to start rocking and rolling. So as I had mentioned, these are all largely done the same way. There's 4 bolts on either point of the seat. Most of them are actually exposed. Only in these later model cars, and a lot of the 7s actually, have they gone to even cover them up. So it's funny, in our M3, you can just, 16 M3, you can just get the bolts right out. So in this car, these little things just slide right off. So we just lift up right here, kind of slide out like so. So you can see there's just a little, that's the little tab. We're just, and then sliding out. It's the same over here. Nothing fun, nothing fancy. Just don't smash your fingers. Then, here's the magic, the Torx T50. So just kind of get them started. And again, we'll go over when we put them back in, but obviously there's a very specific process to this. So we are just removing 4 bolts, but it's one of those things where it does require a little bit of brain activity. I don't suggest doing this on more than 2 beers, maybe 2 glasses of wine. I just wouldn't, you know. So, hell, it's pretty easy. Slide the seat forward. Nope, not gonna work. It doesn't want to party. So we turn the car on. Let's turn it back off. Slide it forward. If you're having trouble at this point sliding the seat forward or anything like that, I think it's best that that you visit one of our dealers, and again, that's on the site, Bavsound.com. Dealers. Or if you've had more than 2 beers, let's just wait till tomorrow. Plenty of time then. Same thing back here, lift. No, these are a little tighter. I'll get it off and then I'll show you what I did and it'll make sense. Let's see here. Held on by a couple little tabs back there, and then again there's just little hooks, so just lift up and out and it just snaps right back in. You can see. You're getting it up here. So again, we're just removing some bolts. No fancy business here. Yeah, there we go. All right, old buddy, old pal. The last time I was in one of these was in 2014. All right, so now it's all loosened up. So, perfecto. At this point, you want to come back up here, slide the seat back a little bit, because the woofers are, of course, under here, which is why we're doing this. We now want to just fold the seat back like so, which gives us fantastic access to the woofer below, which you're going to have to take my word for it. And actually, you know what? That's a better angle than I thought we'd have. So these are Torx T20 in this particular car. I've seen them as Phillips heads. They're always Phillips head or Torx T20. So again, so we're going to use our angle driver for the bits we can't just get to up on the front. Again, this process is exactly the same. Sometimes there are 4 bolts, sometimes there are 6. When I say bolts, I mean screws. It just depends on the car. How's my hair looking, guys? It's kind of humid today. I'm pretty self-conscious about it. I just feel like it's probably all frizzy. Also, anyone has any tips on dealing with baldness in your late 30s? jws@bavsound.com. Love to hear your advice. I'm just kidding. Sorta. All right, so see, none of this is particularly complex. You could bring your 5-year-old daughter out and have her do this for you. So then lift up the woofer like so, unclip that, and there is our lovely factory subwoofer. No more, says I. Okay, so at this point, you can see we've got some carpet we need to peel back. And I think, actually, you guys can see it. There's a 10mm bolt there and a 10mm bolt there. So at this point, we grab our 10mm, which I've conveniently left elsewhere, when we pull the woofer out. I'll show you that in just a moment. I'm going to grab that 10mm, send an email. Say hello to your neighbor. I'll be right back. So, 10mm in the Bavsound toolkit. So, those guys loosened, and you can just so, again, at this point, we're just removing some bolts. Bam. Now, got a little carpet here, a little carpet action. We need to pull it out. Our plug for the factory speakers right here. There's a little tab that we need to depress and lift up. At this point, the woofer lifts up and away from the side of the car. And oh, this one, cool. Good opportunity to show you the metal toolkit. Some cars are gonna have a wiring harness attached to the subwoofer housing. It's just in a little plastic piece. Here you can see, so we just need to remove that. Very straightforward. This one has 2 tabs, so we use our metal panel removal tool and we pop it out. Very straightforward. Here, you know what? There we go. Perfect. See what I'm doing, guys? So we just pry it out using our metal panel removal tool. The plastic one will not do a good job here. Boy, this one is absolutely in there. All right. With that out of the way, we just lift the enclosure up and out. Like so. As you can see, it goes into the side of the car. This little guy, make sure you keep it. This is part of the little weird resonant design they have to give you a little more oomph in the trunk. So that is our factory woofer. We're going to take it over to the workspace and go ahead and upgrade to the beautiful Bavsound Ghost Driver. So let's pause it here and reconvene on the bench. All right, guys. So we're here on the workbench. We're actually doing a full stage 1 in the car as well. Speaker upgrade, and we're doing the Ghost upgrade as well at the same time. This is actually our friends at BMW of Encinitas, our official partner. They provide us with all the cars that we need for R&D, for our video shoots, etc. If you're in San Diego, show them some love. Fantastic guys up there, Ash in sales and Larry in parts. So we're on the bench, got the OE woofer out, Torx T10. I've seen these as Torx T15, and on rare occasion you'll see mismatched 10s and 15s because the factory ran out of bolts that day. So again, we're going to remove these. It's not super exciting. We're unscrewing them. Again, you can have your daughter do this for you. Pretty darn straightforward. As you can see, there's our woofer there, ready to rock. Do. 2 more hours of this, and then we will surf the evening away. There's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful high surf advisory in effect for the next few days. We will be taking full advantage. So don't call us at 4:30 in the morning because we'll be out in the water. All right, so with the woofer there unscrewed, let's grab our panel removal tool. Let's use plastic only because, you know, let's not futz anything up. If you've got your metal tool handy, you're fine, but it's really not. Actually, this one is in there kind of good, eh? Maybe we do need a damn metal one. There we go. So it's just a little adhesive there. There's the factory driver. Here's ours. It's all self-contained. The spiders are completely protected. No room for shenanigans. No bottoming out of a voice coil. So, our new woofer drops right in. And guess what? We just reinstall it the way we took it out. So that's it. These are some of our prototype woofers, so these are not going to stay in the car. These are they're pre-production. Made a couple little tweaks to the production sample. So these are not staying in the car, but that's how we do it. That's how the process goes. And then the reverse, you know, it's just reverse of taking it out. We are going to cover that though, because there is a little trick that I want to show you. So I'm going to put the OE woofer back, throw this back in the car, and then we'll cover that install process. So again, let's pause it here. I'm going to get that reinstalled, and then we'll go back and knock it out. There we go. So again, in real life, the new Ghost woofer is here. So the trick, there's no real trick. I mean, as you saw, we just unbolted it and lifted it out. So what that means is that we need to put it back in that way. So as you can see, there's little tabs, not really tabs, but guides, if you will. So you see how this kind of foam, this seals up against the side of the car and is effective. It's the port for the woofer to disperse out into the B pillar and the I beam. So this is kind of how we do it. We go so down like that. So it's going to be kind of tight to show this down here, but we're going to do our best to convey how we do this. Probably ought to pull the seat out, but I don't feel like taking this back to BMW with check engine lights on. So we won't. So anyway, I think we can do a pretty darn good job though. So again, let's just follow along. It's just so. Oh yeah, I think we're all right. Mr. Cameraman, we looking all right? Yeah. So as you guys saw, it works back in like so. We just go ahead and plug it in. Now, before you put everything together, just turn the radio on very quickly. We're not auditioning here. We're confirming that everything's cool, that the plug's situated properly, that the woofer is in fact rocking and rolling. Now we pre-test every one of these. They go on a cycle for, I think they're playing them on like a 10-hour cycle. So they're kind of preemptively broken in, but nevertheless, things happen in shipping. And so we want to make sure. So just turn it on, make sure we're jamming. If we're all good, then we go ahead and start reassembling, which again, there's really little sense in showing this outside of making sure that everything goes back together correctly. So there's not really much to see here. So at this point, quite frankly, I think we should just pause. And I should also stress that the two sides are identical. You will have the same process ahead of you. Now, if you try to do them both at once, that's totally fine. They are side specific. So if you get them confused, it'll just be funny. You're not going to hurt anything, but it'll be hilarious watching you try to put the left side and the right side and vice versa. Actually, it won't be hilarious. You will be madder than all get out and cursing me, but nevertheless. So, And that's basically it. So we just get this back in, tuck our carpet back up under, like so. Get it back down. This. Get our carpet out the way. Let's see, here's our, let's see. Let's see, so we just get the carpet realigned like so. And then bam, we put our grill back in as we have, as we were wont to do. Now this you definitely want to do with your eyes first. So just do one screw at a time. And then take your bit and kind of start it by hand. And then line them up, because you can miss. And boy, that it gets frustrating when you can't get them lined up. So always start by hand. So you don't want to goof this up though, because if you don't get the grill secure, there will be resonance and you will hear that and it will annoy the hell out of you. And us, when you call telling us it resonates and I say, hey, did you tighten the grill down? And you go, I don't know, I had 4 beers, I don't remember. And I say, well, I'm going to go with you did have 4 beers. And that's why it's resonating. So again, we want to make sure everything is snug down here when it's all said and done. And in some cars, you may need to move a little foam just because it might be sitting a bit on the surround. Every now and then you'll see that. If that's the case, just move a little foam. You can just pull it off the underside of the carpet. The carpet remains, but the foam kind of moves. So perfect. So we snug, 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 and snug, and then bam, we go ahead and put everything back together. Again, we test it first. And for those of you with any of the audio systems, the key with these woofers, they were all designed, in certain cases, in certain Harman Kardon and Logic 7 applications, the woofers perform optimally with the bass settings, with the EQs flat and the bass flat, or -1 if you don't have the Logic 7 or so if you've got a bass audio or a HiFi car, you'll find that you get the most volume, the least distortion, and the most output, the most balanced output with the bass flat. So that's the way these were engineered to perform. So if you're going to try and turn it up to +4 and get tons and tons and tons and tons of bass, you might want to consider a 1,000-watt amplifier on 2 15-inch subwoofers in the trunk of your car. Because remember, they're 8-inch woofers, but again, it's an incredible impact that we're making here. But you've got to kind of tune it within reason. So that being said, at this point, we'll just fold the seat down, put some bolts in, and rock and roll. Really no sense in watching this. This is straightforward. Although, now that I think about it, we will come back because I want to talk about how we torque them down sequentially. So let's actually pause. Let me get situated in the back seat, and then we'll join you for reinstalling all of these bolts. All right, so it seems simple. We're putting 4 bolts back in, yes. However, there is a method to the madness, if you will. 5 bolts in this particular car. And it is as follows. We start each bolt by hand. So we're going to start in the back seat. We kind of start them. We slide the seat back. We start the front bolts because we want the seat perfectly aligned, right? So when the seat's slid back to the front, we go left front, we get it snug, right, and then we slide the seat forward. We come right rear, get them snug, slide it forward. Then we do left rear, snug, slide it back, right front, snug. So, and then the same star pattern. So then we tighten the left front, then we tighten the right rear all the way down, then we tighten the left rear all the way down, then the right front. So in other words, we're kind of doing an X pattern so that everything cinches up nice and square. Moreover, so that we don't cross thread these bolts. So I think I was pretty clear there. We'll cover the process. I don't know how effective it'll be in watching, but again, use your brain. Start everything with your fingers and just use an X pattern to tighten everything back down. So don't rush this. I know it's exciting to kind of get it done. So again, you see I'm just dropping this in here, you can move the seat around a little bit and make sure you get threads going. So right now I can basically take this down all the way by my hands, which I just did. So that's basically in. So you've got to do a little alignment here because we just shifted the whole seat. So you drop the bolt in, and you can see I can kind of just move things however I want. So you get it where you need it. Like I'm actually, again, going all the way down as far as I can with my hand so that there's still a little play, but the seat's not going to move. And most importantly, we're not going to cross thread anything. So just drop it in. And if you can't run it all the way down, then there's a problem. The seat's not aligned. So make sure it's aligned. Absolutely make sure. Let me get my T50. And again, I'm just using my hand. There's no torque being applied here. It's just running them down and just getting them sorted. So, as I had mentioned, now we slide the seat rearward and repeat the process in the front. Actually, this is a great place for you guys to watch because you can see the maneuverability I still have with the seat despite all the rear bolts being in. So you can see I can still move things around. So again, we drop it in and with our hands run it all the way down. And this way we ensure no issues with the seat being properly secured. I've seen so many people goof this up, and I mean, you're really running the risk of doing expensive frame damage. So look, just right on down. It should always be this easy. You should never struggle putting this in. So at this point, we might as well start here on this right front. I'm going to get it, bam, like so. And then I'm going to slide the seat forward. Then I do the right rear and then vice versa. And you can also see the marks from where the bolts were from the factory. So just make sure that it sits right back in that same frame of alignment. So I'm going, this one over here is the one I want to do. And it's perfectly aligned with where it was. And we'll have the torque specs for those of you that want to know the OE torque specs. I have a call in to the shop foreman over at Encinitas, so I should have that information. We will update that here in the video, directly embedded in the video, so you can see that for those of you that are particularly anal. I have a torque wrench here, and we'll be torquing them as such when I get that data. But we'll have that for you before ship date. So again, for those of you that don't have a torque wrench, you can just see, just get it in until it doesn't move. I'm not a big dude, as you can see, so you don't have to completely wrench it. So then, just reinstall. The good times roll. That's backwards. Here we go. Like so. Slide it on, like so. Repeat the process in the rear, and we are ready to rock and roll. That's going to kind of do it. Again, the process is the same on the passenger side. For you novices, you can realistically expect between beer consumption and just the fact that you don't do this every day, an hour tops for both pieces, for both sides. So that's really about it, guys. As you can see, these two just, let's see here. This one was always trickier, wasn't it? Perfect. Bam. We are done. So that wraps up the Ghost subwoofer installation. And for more information on tuning recommendations, etc., as well as the Stage 1 speaker upgrade for your BMW, visit the links below on the site, Bavsound, social media, fun stuff, learn. Give us a call, drop us an email. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys again on another super duper exciting M3 that we'll be revealing over the next few weeks.